Welcome to the Boston Bros podcast. I am Jim Campanini, co-host of the show, with my good friend, Boston Herald political columnist, Peter Lucas.
Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. It's a nice crisp day here in downtown Lowell. We're sitting at the InsideLowell.com studios, sponsored by WellPoint. WellPoint, the only health plan offering healthcare benefits exclusively to Massachusetts GIC members. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point. We have Teddy Panos, our producer. He's here in the studio. Good morning, Teddy. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. Great to have you here, as always.
Yes. And we have a major announcement this morning, and we're going to let our producer, who worked so hard to get this, to get our GOP debates going, and we got one candidate coming in that we will have live on our show. Teddy, why don't you take the floor? And give us the announcement here.
All right. We'll let everybody know that on Wednesday, December 10th, the Boston Bros will be featuring Brian Shortsleeve, a Republican gubernatorial candidate here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. He'll kick it off. We're also working on getting the other candidates in here as well. And as you guys always say, Governor Maura Healey is always invited to come in also.
Absolutely. So we're going to kick it off, and we thank Brian Shortsleeve for being the first to come in, and hopefully the other two candidates who are running for governor for the Republican Party will find their way to Lowell and come in and sit down with us. It promises to be a really great show. So, Peter, how's your week? Okay.
My week has been very busy. I've been following the Epstein files story that's dominated the press for the last couple of days.
Yeah, let's talk a little about this. I mean, what is the relevance? I thought all this was. They've voted in Congress now to release all the files overwhelmingly, both parties. Okay, so who wins, who loses over the release of these files?
Well, I think the Democrats lose because they were making a big issue out of it and taunting Trump with it. And Trump said, well, let's release everything. And now that they're releasing everything, come to find out there are many prominent Democrats mentioned significantly in the Epstein files.
You know, is this a case of, they say about lawyers, don't ask a witness on the stand a question that you don't already know the answer to.
That's about it, yeah.
I mean, and it seems like we go from the federal shutdown, okay, the government shutdown. Now, the Democrats lost that battle. Now, here's another distraction. I mean, instead of, going back to business and working to solve some of the major problems of this country, like immigration, inflation, here they go. Now, everybody jumps on this case with the Epstein files, and I'm saying to myself, didn't we already solve this? Guy went to prison, he died.
Jim, the Democrats have nothing going for them. They have no leadership. They're grasping at any straw to make Trump look bad, no matter what Trump does. It doesn't matter. And now, like the government shutdown, these Epstein files are going to boomerang and hurt the Democrats.
Well, I mean, and my wife is a very sensitive woman, and especially to women's issues. And she's so sick of all this and the coverage. And she said, gee, the woman who really exposed Epstein and everything, I think it was Valerie, it was a Giuffre. Was that her name? Jeffrey or something? Yeah. I mean, the poor woman ended up committing suicide, but she wrote a book. She testified for Congress. She said right flat out, she never saw Trump,
Jim, it doesn't matter.
Any of these parties. She wrote it in her book. She said it before Congress, and yet they persisted.
Not only they persist, the media persists, because the media, the lamestream media, is in the tank to the Democratic Party. We all know that.
And I saw one headline in the Globe. No, it was a column by Joan Vanacki, okay, a Boston Globe columnist. She said, is this the lie that will bring down the Trump administration? I'm saying, well, first of all, what's the lie? Yeah. And I read the first two paragraphs of the column. I couldn't go on. It must have been a slow day. She was making it up as she went along that Trump lied. He lied to us. What do you mean? He basically said, release them all. I have nothing to hide. I had nothing to do. he in fact ended his relationship, almost 2 decades ago?
20 years ago.
With Epstein.
At least 20 years ago.
So
Kicked them out of Mar-a-Lago.
the people of America, I mean, they're going to be sick and tired of all this back and forth, aren't they? Again,
I'm getting sick and tired of the media back and forth. That's what it is. It's very, you get on trying to find out the truth. You got to search the internet to find out the truth. You just can't rely on the so-called legacy media anymore because they're so far in the tank to the Democrats. And they hate Trump. They hate Trump.
Yeah.
No matter what he does.
Well, just along these, so what is going to happen? What is this just going to be another 1 week story? All those files are going to come out, or are they going to start writing?
The story will go away as soon as Democrats are named in the Epstein files. The media will suddenly lose interest and go on to something else because one of their own will have been named in the files.
Do you think it's fair that the Trump administration has asked the Justice Department now to look into Bill Clinton's apparent relationship with Epstein and stuff? Or I thought that was resolved too. Yeah, we know Clinton had a much deeper relationship with Epstein than Trump ever had. He was over a dozen times on his jet. He went to parties with Epstein, went to his house.
Thanks to the Democrats, Bill Clinton is going to be collateral damage.
Yeah, it's a shame. It really is. I thought Clinton had done his mea culpa. And now here we go again, and they're just going to tarnish his legacy. And you think maybe Joe was involved? You think Joe Biden was involved?
Well, if he was, he forgot about it.
So he can't testify.
He doesn't remember.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess we'll have to, be prepared for the onslaught of all these venerable newspapers coming out. We'll see how the press coverage is, but I'll tell you, I'm sick and tired of it. I think it's, Congress should be back to work solving some of the problems of this nation. And I just can't, do these congressmen and women and U.S. senators, do they relish this stuff that they can't get anything resolved in Washington?
How bad, here's how bad it is. Democrats who voted to keep the government shut down are still bragging about that vote.
I know.
Okay? We got a press release from Laurie Trehane, the local congresswoman here, bragging about how she voted no. You go to Washington and you shut down the government and you brag about it? That doesn't make any sense.
41 days, hurt a lot of people, no matter what side you were on. And the Democrats, I don't think they're ever going to live down the fact they voted 15 times to keep the government shut down, people out of work without paychecks. I was traveling during this period. I was at the airport. I endured delays. Ordinary people just were inconvenienced to the it was just ridiculous, and they're taking credit.
They're bragging for hurting people. Yeah. How do you figure?
And the vote,
they got paid.
And they got paid. Yes.
While they were voting no to keep the government.
And
shut
they were
down.
able to do their insider trading.
They're all millionaires.
Here's the thing, Peter. From that first vote to the 15th, in which they voted to keep the government shut down, they ended up with the same deal at the end to open the government. So they didn't gain an inch of ground, an inch of ground. Maybe they think poll-wise, but I don't even believe the polls anymore, whether they're Republicans or Democrats. I don't even believe it. How can you talk to 800 people or 400 people and say that they represent this vast nation? We've learned the last 3 elections, it's all crap. Okay?
Well, the only people I believe are you and me.
What about Teddy?
Well, Teddy too, yeah.
Yeah. How come? Have you been called for a poll?
Never.
Have you, Teddy? Have you ever been called for a survey or poll or anything like that?
I've been texted.
Texted? Yeah. I think I was, a long time ago, when I was still the editor of The Sun, I got contacted by an online survey and stuff for a poll, but I respectfully declined. Okay, I never heard of the people who were doing the poll and stuff. So, but that was it. So okay, so hey, we'll have to watch and see what happens with these Epstein files and the Democrats continuing to press for this information. But I thought what U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren, when it came out that the former Harvard president, Larry Summers,
Right.
okay, was, oh man, he had one of the closest relationships with Epstein than anybody.
He's named prominently in the
Yeah,
files. Yeah.
Epstein gave millions of dollars, or Epstein and his followers, I should say, gave millions of dollars to Harvard. A lot of it unreported. Okay, I mean, Harvard's reputation, it seems, just keeps getting tainted every week. I mean, this is just another, I think, nail in the coffin here.
Well, yeah, at the rate it's going, Harvard's going to be a mail-in college pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Maybe it'll just go all online. But
How Elizabeth Warren turned on Larry Summers, that's a story.
yeah.
She attacked him and urged him to drop all affiliation with Harvard. It was a pretty mean-spirited attack.
Yeah. And I just, it's going to be to see how this all plays out. And I guess he just stepped down from whatever board positions he had or alliances he had with Harvard.
He went into private life. He's cut everything. He's cut himself off for everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're turning on each other,
That's
the Democrats.
That's the Democratic Party today.
Yeah.
And it looks like the only hero they have is Zoran Madami in New York.
Well, yeah, that's true. Now, how did this meeting with Trump go? Did he meet? Was he supposed to meet with Trump, President Trump?
No, nothing
Okay.
scheduled.
All right, so nothing scheduled there. So now, yes or no? Is Chuck Schumer going to survive his between now and the next election, or you think he'd be? You think he's even going to stand?
I would think he's on his way out
Yeah.
because this so-called youth generational movement in the Democratic Party is going to scoop him up along with several other people.
I think here's my prediction over the next 6 to 8 months. Chuck Schumer is going to come down with this new affliction. It's called the AOC hives. He's going to get a bad case of it, and I think he's going to step down for personal reasons.
It's not a crime to be old,
No, I know, but
but it is a crime to be old and stupid.
yes. And I think Schumer has he's reached the pinnacle of that failure. So it's too bad. But Democrats, I don't know where their next leader comes from and stuff. But Schumer just isn't doing it. So hey, I gotta talk to you about the latest on Governor Maura Healey's top aide out there in Springfield, Lamar Cook. Okay, so he was indicted. More details have come out for this drug trade. He was a pretty big operator.
He was big. He was big in the drug
18
trade.
pounds of cocaine coming through the mail. Another time, 27 pounds of cocaine delivered to the governor.
To explain to the people, he was deputy director of the governor's Western Massachusetts office based in Springfield. He was making $115,000 a year base salary. And on the side, he apparently was into the drug trade. That's what he's been charged with.
Yeah, and then he previously held a position at UMass Amherst. He ran the UMass Hotel out there.
Right.
I guess it's a campus hotel. Parents can,
Has President Marty Meehan ever stayed there?
He probably has.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Is there a suite there for him?
Absolutely, there must be.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised Marty has been mum on this issue, and because here's the thing, they're saying Governor Healey is getting criticism for not revealing the background check that they did on Lamar Cook before they hired him for this top position.
I thought we were into transparency.
Well, that's the thing. But my point says, who hired this guy to run the hotel at UMass Amherst? So the thing extends even further back than that,
Right.
because evidently he had his record sealed. There were he had they also found a weapon when the state police went into his apartment. And there were some reports that he had previous gun charge, which allegedly, I don't know if it's true, and that's why his records might have been sealed and stuff. So this is another thing that just attacks the credibility of government, especially
that,
the Healy administration.
Well, now the governor is saying he was a low-level
Oh,
employee.
please.
If a low-level employee is making $115,000 a year, imagine what a high-level employee is making.
Yeah. So
And besides, it's a whole issue of transparency. They've run on transparency. Everybody was going to be transparent. Well, if you're going to be transparent, please release the records of this guy.
what are they? I mean, I just don't know. What are they afraid of? Who did the background check? But I'd even go further back. How did he get on the UMass campus? All right. Now I believe in second chances, but I think you have to at least alert the public. And it's a good story for you. You give someone a second chance, and you say, "Hey, we believe in him." Maybe that would have kept him in the right, the right and narrow, because people would have been watching him, scrutinizing him. So it might have helped his career. I don't know, but why he went down this path, I have no, I don't understand. And who was he dealing with? For that amount of cocaine, and where the packages came from, they came through Kentucky and other places. He was dealing with a major operation. I think that's what one of the former FBI agents told the Herald.
The interesting thing about it is that he was investigated and arrested by local authorities out in Western Massachusetts. The Attorney General's office had nothing to do with it.
Right.
And the administration had nothing to do with it. This was a local case. Presumably the state police out there were involved also.
Yeah. Ayanna Presley, Andrea Campbell, our Attorney General.
Out to lunch.
Yes, she was out to lunch. You think they probably didn't say anything to her for fear that she might have spilled the beans or something. Isn't that sad? I mean, but it's crazy. It's crazy. So anyway, we'll have to watch that case. I don't know if I think Diane DiZoglio, the state auditor, might get her records before the citizens of Massachusetts get any record on Lamar Cook. So isn't this funny? I mean, it's a state we're suing government over the release of public records. I mean, and it goes on and on. No one wants to give up.
That's
public
because
records.
government in Massachusetts has been a private enterprise for so many years.
Yeah. A $61 billion private enterprise to cover up public documents and the.
Hey, if he was an illegal immigrant, this guy out in Springfield, Mass, he'd probably let out the back door of the courthouse anyway.
Yeah, he's probably going to go before Judge Joseph somewhere, so and get that result. Hey, a good
Speaking
thing,
about Judge Joseph, not only is she walked and not received any punishment for letting the illegal immigrant out the back door, she's liable to be appointed to the Supreme Court.
now, you mean the U.S. Supreme Court or the
No, our
the
Supreme
judicial
Court.
Supreme
Our
Oh,
Supreme.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? She's moved up 3 notches already, even though she said she didn't know the protocol in district court, which is the So it was her first day on the job. She didn't know. Okay, you think you'd be prepared, but anyway, that's a whole nother story. Good story out of the State House this week, and you wrote a column on it. Former state rep Dave Nangle testified before the I think it was the gaming
Technology committee or whatever.
Yes, about internet gambling, and there's a bill to proposing that you can do all these gambling things that you can
You
do.
can authorize any casino gambling game on your cell
on your
phone.
cell phone.
That is the bill. That is the
That's
bill.
Bill. So Dave Nangle, the former Lowell representative, served 22 years in the legislature,
And 15 months in prison.
and 15 months in prison
Well, 6
for a
months, he was
gambling
let go.
habit. I mean, if anybody is going through this experience, lost so much, saw the travails of what gambling can do to you, it was Dave Nangle, and I'm glad he's coming back. He's coming back strong.
He testified on addicted gambling, and he was addicted to it, and he paid the penalty for it. He lost his house seat, and he did 6 months in prison.
Federal prison.
In federal prison. And he spoke very emotionally about what gambling can do to a person who becomes addicted. And he's made a career now, a comeback career of advising and counseling people on gambling addiction. I did a column, and it was the voice of experience.
Yeah, voice of caution and experience.
Yeah.
It was a good column. I ran this past week.
And got good response for it. And
Was it a Monday's paper? Monday's paper.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, it was Monday, and it's a good come from behind, a good comeback story.
Yes.
Which I always like a good comeback
Second
story.
chances, and
Yeah.
Dave is becoming a spokesperson against these gaming exercise. I mean, the expansion of gaming in this state is just incredible. I mean, we've had a public school teachers about saying that teenagers have been I don't know how they do it, but they've been using their phones, looking at contests and sporting events, and then college kids. I guess it's running rampant on college campuses.
24/7, you would be able to play poker, roulette, gambling, dice, anything, blackjack on your cell phone if this bill goes through. And how are you going to regulate this? Kids will be able to gamble 24/7.
Yeah. You know, and you lose a $5 bet on the phone, and then they go on and say, "Oh, I can make it up next." They make another $5 bet on something.
And then you're hooked.
Yeah, and then you're hooked because you keep going. The next thing you know, you lost $100 in 15 minutes or something. It's absolutely crazy, and it's just getting worse. I hope they defeat this bill. Although they were saying that there's already a bunch of states that have already approved this.
The problem is, people get hooked on gambling, but the state gets hooked on gambling revenue.
Yes,
That's the problem. And the more money you give the state, the more money they spend. And the more money they spend, the more money they want to spend. And gambling has been a big boom for state revenue.
How much money does the state of Massachusetts need?
Not enough.
I mean, it's already a record $61 billion this year, and I don't know. Is anything really getting better? It's just crazy. So credit to Dave Nangle in that column. You should read the column. And Dave is now the spokesperson for a major organization. I don't know if you had it in your column. So he'll hopefully be going out to some of these college campuses and high schools and other public venues. I mean, if you want him to talk to your kid or a group of kids, you should give him a call. He's a great guy. He's turned his life around and stuff, and he's been through a lot. So I give him a lot of credit. And you talked with him. He's very sincere and
Really?
modest,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he talks openly about the things he went through and the things that he's lost, and he realizes it through his addiction, but he's working himself back and he's doing well. So it's a good story. It's a good story. So
While we were on that, since we're talking about money, how about President Trump moving to abolish the penny?
Yeah, it was funny because I went to
The penny gets no respect anymore.
no, not anymore, and I was shocked that I watched a network news show where they showed how they make pennies, and it takes 4 cents to make a penny. So I guess the government was losing.
Not very cost effective.
Yeah, not very cost effective, and so they're going to abolish it, and yet, well, and then I went to the market on Monday morning, okay, market basket, and I was supposed to get $1.02 change, and the woman opened up the cashier box. There were no pennies in the cashier
No
box.
pennies.
She hit the button. And a manager came over and she says, "Oh, I don't have any pennies." And he says, "We don't issue them anymore." And she said, "What am I supposed to do?" And she says, "Just round it off." And I looked at her, I said, "Do these people know how to round off?" So I didn't get my 2 pennies.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we can make up for it. I got pennies here. See? There's 50 cents worth of pennies. I rounded them up. You know, actually, there are billions and billions of pennies
Oh, yeah.
in the
Billions
United
before.
States.
Yeah.
But my point is, the penny is like part of American history.
Absolutely.
Abraham
Tradition.
Lincoln was put on the face of the penny in 1909. I guess it was the 100th anniversary of his birthday. And it's been on there ever since. And sad part about it is pennies used to mean something
I know. Used to save
when
them.
currency was stable in this country. I remember as a kid selling the Boston Record newspaper and outside of Winter Hill in Somerville when I was a kid. And it was 3 cents a copy. 3 cents. And you hoped you get a nickel
So,
because you'd have a profit of 2 cents.
Yeah.
And that would be a big win.
Yeah.
But now the penny is on its way out. It's too bad.
well, I mean, I still pick up pennies when I see them on the ground.
I do too.
My wife has a jar. We keep putting the pennies in the jar. It's just a habit.
Yeah, and then
habit
you
of
roll
growing
them up.
And I don't know. Maybe so. What's going to happen to Lincoln's face? Are they going to find another coin to put his face on or something? They're going to create a 7-cent penny or something.
My proposal was to save the penny and put Trump's face on it.
You think more people will use them if Trump's
And have a big celebration on that day at the Trump Ballroom when that opens up.
I'm very surprised that the
Actually, though, a penny would, Trump wouldn't want to have his face on a penny. The dollar bill, maybe. Replace Washington on the bill.
I think it would be a gold coin.
Yeah.
It would be a gold coin and stuff. But yeah, what a way of the world. I mean, the penny, they're doing away with the penny. What a decision.
Well,
I mean,
first the penny, then the nickel.
I'm surprised
and the
that
nickel,
Lincoln
then the dime.
Society, we haven't heard any complaints from that, that famous Lincoln Society. They meet, they talk about President Lincoln and all his accomplishments. So I'm surprised that they didn't voice any opposition to this plan and stuff. But taking
I think
one of the greatest presidents in his namesake penny out of circulation.
They can stop making pennies, but you're not going to get rid of them because there's so many of them.
Yeah. But yeah, good point, Peter. Let me see. Oh, I got a story here that I wanted to bring up. By the way, did you see my hat?
Yeah, I see a hat.
Teddy? So this is my Sam Elliott hat. Okay, actually, it's a minor league baseball team out in Montana. I don't even know if they're in effect anymore. They were the Montana Cowboys. David Heller used to own them. Remember David Heller owned the Lowell Spinners there and stuff. He gave me this hat, but it always reminded me of Sam Elliott. He plays some great movies. Well, he's in the Taylor Sheridan spinoff, 1883. That was a spinoff from Yellowstone that Kevin Costner's in. Well, now, a popular show that's on Paramount, okay, is Landman, with Billy Bob Thornton. Ali Lauder plays his wife. Well, Sam Elliott now, Sheridan has gotten him to come back and do a role in a Landman, and so the I think it's the second season that just started, and we just saw Sam Elliott for the first time in the second episode. But he's just a great character actor.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
And I've been watching 1883, and so it's going to be interesting to see what role he fits in this. And I think he's going to be I really don't know what he's going to do, but he's always great to watch. So I wore this hat, my Sam Elliott hat, I call it, in honor of Landman starting its second season on Paramount, and Sam Elliott joining the cast. Is that okay?
That's terrific. That's fine.
All right, good. So I get this headline item. Michelle the Misguided. You know, this year, this past week, Michelle's doing a...
Not Michelle Wu.
No. Michelle Obama. Did
Wow.
I say,
Okay.
I didn't, oh, Michelle Obama.
We got to get
former First Lady. I'm
Michelle
sorry.
straight here.
No, it's Michelle Obama. You know, she's got a new book coming out, The Look, whatever that is. It's about style and her style and stuff. Well, she was on... she's making the rounds and stuff, and she said that came out a controversial statement saying Americans are not ready to elect a woman to the White House. Okay, citing former Vice President Kamala Harris's 2024 presidential election loss to President Donald Trump. Took a lot of people, even some Democrats, by surprise, because conveniently Michelle Obama failed to mention that, you know, Hillary Clinton ran for president in 2016. She won the popular vote by 2.5 million votes over Donald Trump, and most people had already Democrats and liberals had anointed Hillary Clinton to the White House. You know, that last week she didn't go and campaigned in Wisconsin and some of those other important states where Donald Trump went nonstop for 3 days, visiting Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio. You know, that's basically how he won the election. In a close call, the Electric College, he won. But is Michelle Obama, do people even listen to her anymore?
I know Barack doesn't.
yeah. No, he doesn't. I think they might even be living separately. But
Look, she's been whining ever since.
Yeah. I mean,
She whined on the day she married him, thinking she was marrying down, and he was marrying up. And she hasn't changed over all these years. She complained when she was in the White House.
Yeah.
Now she's complaining she's outside the White House. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And now, you know, it gets me. Donald Trump, a Republican, he's named more women to leadership roles in his cabinet than any other president. Okay, you know, that you can think of in history. Okay, and women have, there's still more to go. I do believe some women are discriminated against in corporate America, but in politics. Politics is the closest thing to capitalism. I mean, you run, you get people behind you. Look at the governorships. We just had 2 women with governorships in Virginia, New Jersey.
The
They run for
Obamas,
president.
but the Obamas have a house in Martha's Vineyard, where presumably they live. That makes them Massachusetts residents. They're Massachusetts residents. They got to understand they live in a matriarchy here in Massachusetts, where the state is run by women. From the governor on down, including, you know, the mayor of Boston, the governor, lieutenant governor, the treasurer, the auditor, the speaker, the Senate president. They're all women.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Governor Maura Healey, we got a female, the first elected female governor, who also happens to be a lesbian. And, you know, so when Michelle Obama says this stuff, I mean, who's listening? Why don't they just tell her, keep quiet? And, you know, she says it like finger pointing. Americans aren't ready. Like, I always questioned whether Michelle Obama really loved America. Okay, I mean, if anybody it just seemingly made snide comments, even when she was the first lady, and you know, she just knows how to denigrate, it seems, and criticize. But her comment here is. They asked her if she would ever consider running for elective office and stuff.
Please.
This is her quote. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running because you are all lying. You're not ready for a woman.
We're not
you
good.
are not.
We're not good enough for her. We're not good enough for her.
Yeah. That's probably what it comes down to.
It's silly. It's silly.
So it is silly. It is silly, and you know what? I think this just detracts from the hardworking women in politics who are doing good jobs for their communities, are ambitious and trying to get ahead. Like saying this, just a general statement like this, but knocking, all Americans and women who have succeeded in somewhat of a male-dominated world. So
Sure.
Michelle Obama...
She could have said, well, I live in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
We have a woman governor. We have a woman mayor of Boston. She could have done something positive, but she's been a negative person all her life.
And I think a woman is going to break through and become the U.S. president. And I hope it's done in my lifetime, and I hope it's a Republican woman. Okay, but here you are, Michelle. 2 of the last 3 elections, presidential elections, involved women running for president. Wake up. Okay, I had my say. Okay. Now, my woman of the week. Well, it's actually my.
I want a woman editor of the Lowell Sun is what I want.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever had one. And this was quite shocking. You learn everything. The thing about growing older, you change, you learn, because I think the day you stop trying to learn is the day you basically check out. Okay, and so I was happily surprised and stunned when Nicki Minaj, okay, the somewhat raunchy songstress who's made a living with some of the weirdest and sexiest and really pornographic lyrics in the music industry, went before the UN this past week and really shamed those hypocrites. Okay, President Trump has been saying this for a while about the extremists in Africa who are killing Christians and all over the world, and a lot of them being Muslim groups. Okay, well, Nicki Minaj got to speak before the UN, all right, and she really hammered them, saying about the what's going on in Nigeria, where they're indiscriminately just killing Christians, men, women, and children, and burning them to death, torturing them themselves. So I said, oh, this is Nicki Minaj who wrote these songs that I couldn't listen to, but anyway,
not on my playlist. But I tell you, she was impressive at the UN.
Yes, and you know what came out? I forgot one of the commentators on TV, and it said, hey, a lot of celebrities, they go onto the soapbox, they do a video from their home, and they're against this, they're against that, and they're for this, for the, but then you never see them again out there on the front lines, getting in your face and said, he says, credit Nicki Minaj for going into this den, okay, of hypocrites and putting it right on them. And then she also mentioned, Donald Trump, who's and I don't know if she's a Donald Trump fan or not, but she says, hey, the president has been strong about this and talking about the persecution of Christians throughout the world, and he's also mentioned Nigeria. So you know what? I give her credit. I give her credit, and she said that these are some of the most vulnerable individuals in the world,
True.
and they need support. They need help, and the UN, if anybody that cares about people being oppressed, it should be you.
No, good for her. Good for her.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
my
person of the week.
You get so tired of these celebrities who don't like what's going on. They're going to leave the country and move someplace else, and they never do.
Yeah.
Because they find out in the final analysis, nobody cares if they leave or not.
Yeah. So I was happy. I was happy to hear that. So what do you think? Did the president have a good week? President Trump? Did he have a good week?
I think he had a terrific week. And, this latest meeting with the Saudi Arabian leader was very impressive. Mm-hmm. Not only by selling him these fighter planes, what are they, F-31s they call them?
F-35s.
F-35s, but also inching him towards signing the Abraham Accords, which would recognize Israel and go a long way to provide peace in the Middle East.
Yeah. So some people in Congress, and rightfully so, are concerned about giving 50 of our most technologically advanced jet fighters to Saudi Arabia because they are fearful that if one of these fighters ever gets in China's hands, that they would then, be able to, copy our technology and
Jim, China probably has them already.
Well, that was my point.
They steal everything we have.
Yeah, they probably have them. And Saudi Arabia is one of our better allies in at least we're working on it in the Middle East, Israel being our best. And I think Trump is looking at this as being, a deterrent to Iran, right? Iran has been threatening that entire region for decades and stuff, and he's trying to give the crown prince there in Saudi Arabia, a leg up to defend himself. But Trump wants leverage, and his leverage, I think you're right, is he wants Saudi Arabia to lead the way, sign on to the Abraham Accords, and help in this Gaza peace plan, right?
Everything changed in the Middle East when Trump sent those B-1 bombers into Iran to destroy their nuclear capability. That is a significant power change move in the Middle East. And that, I think, helped bring Saudi Arabia closer to the United States because the Saudis are dead enemies of the Iranians, the mullahs who run that country. And I think it's a good thing to have Saudi Arabia as an ally.
Well, the only other country that has these planes is in the Middle East is Israel.
Right.
Now, they're a little concerned, thinking that, what if Saudi Arabia turns on us and everything and uses these planes against us?
Well, I don't know how much more we can do for Israel. Yeah. How much more Trump or the United States can do for Israel. We've done an awful lot.
Yes, and this deal would be $23 billion. U.S. Manufacturers, they would all be manufactured in the United States. They will benefit from this.
And by the same token, the Saudis have promised a $1 trillion investment into the United States manufacturing capacity.
Yeah. So I hope that this does move. If this does get signed, this deal does get done. That Saudi Arabia will get on board and make stronger ties with Israel in that region, lead the way to get more Arab countries to get on board with Trump's Gaza peace plan that has received very favorable reviews from the United Nations and even the New York Times. The New York Times came out with an editorial praising Trump's plan.
They practically called them the Lawrence of Arabia.
I know. And I'm saying, gee, did that asteroid change course that we've been following? Is that headed towards Earth? The New York Times actually praised Trump for doing something, and so I just, It is amazing. It's a marvel how how things seem to change. But the president does does deserve a lot of credit for what he's done out there and bringing those nations together.
Every day, no matter what he does, every accomplishment makes Biden look worse and worse. And that's why the Democrats are so upset with Donald Trump. The hatred is just unbelievable. No matter what his accomplishment is, he will never get any credit, and all he'll get is criticism from the left-wing Democrats and the left-wing media. And it's just, hate never constructs anything except more hate. And it's too bad to see the party, the Democratic Party, deepen itself this way. It's very sad.
Well, the job is not over, not by a long shot. It's amazing that in his peace plan that has received recognition and a lot of praise from European countries, the United Nations, and others. I mean, it gives a pathway to an independent Palestinian state, but that's not going to be achieved with Hamas. Hamas is already opposed to it, saying that it will fight it. And reports are now coming out. There are 7,000 Hamas extremists.
Yeah, they just applied to Harvard.
That might be a good thing. But so in Bibi Netanyahu, the prime minister of the president of Israel, is saying that, hey, we can't go on in trying to rebuild Gaza with this cancer still out there, and evidently there's a lot of tunnels that were never destroyed, and they found weapons caches underneath the still there and stuff. I mean, it's still not over, Peter. It's
not over, and it's it's going to take years. They're going to have to build. The place is rubble, and it's going to take years to rebuild Gaza. And who knows who's going to be living there?
Well, I lament the fact that has the Palestinian culture changed? I mean, I see photos in newsreels on TV, and yes, the area. Oh man, the destruction is just it just goes on and on and on. It's infinite. I don't know how they do it, but it doesn't seem like the people have really changed their mindset. I still think a lot of them hate Israel and are not going to cooperate. So it's sad.
No, I think you're right. Nothing's going to happen overnight. That's for sure.
Yeah. So what are you working on this week?
We're working on hoping to watch the Patriots beat the Bengals on Sunday. And you always talk about your person of the week. My person of the week would be Drake May. The way he's playing for the Patriots, it's, not that you're going to forget Tom Brady, but this kid is going a long way of taking Brady's place and being a terrific leader and a player.
Yeah. I mean, 23 years old. He showed he showed an impressive maturity, but leadership. The guy is very modest. He never points to himself, and I think everybody's rallied to him. I think they do anything for Drake May, and the coaches is just even keel all the way. So hey, no one thought the Patriots would win 9 games, and now they got a chance to go for their 10th victory against Cincinnati at Cincinnati. So the Kraft must be very, very happy. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, what column are you working on? Any good columns this week?
Well, we're working on a column about pennies. Yeah. Pennies are very important. We're going to have to do a column on pennies. Okay. And we're doing another column on the flap over the appointment of a transgender man into the women's status of women's commission.
Yeah, it's a commission on women's rights, and Governor Healy has just appointed a transgender male, Giselle Bird, to a seat on the board, which I just don't I don't understand. I mean, it's for women, and just clouds the issue. You know, women in sports, protecting women, Title IX. I mean, I guess should there be a women for transgender? Right? I mean, a commission for transgender.
Well,
rights?
there is a bill in the legislature to create a commission on transgender, just transgenders, period.
Yes.
This commission has been around for years. It's a 19-member commission on the status of women, of which Byrd is appointed to. And what struck me is how women appear to be fine with this. I'm talking about biological women.
Yeah.
Seem to be fine with this, having a former man tell them how to deal with women's issues, as if there's not enough women around to appoint to the board. And
Oh man.
but no one seems
This
to
is
be
Massachusetts.
critical
It's
of it.
crazy.
The liberals don't seem to be critical of it. The women don't seem to be critical
Just
of
keeps
it.
clouding the issue, and,
And,
so it's just yeah. There's people just hate politics. I tell you, it's crazy. So
But the governor, well, to her credit, the governor believes in it. The governor is the first gay woman governor we've ever had in Massachusetts, and so this is up her alley, so to speak.
So what happens if the legislation passes for the transgender commission?
Just another
Okay.
commission. We have more commissions.
A real man, okay, could he get appointed to that?
No, but maybe we
What
should.
about a transitioning?
Maybe
man?
we should have a commission on the status of men.
Yeah, that's an idea.
Why not?
Maybe we have Brian Shortsleeve on. the
Well,
show. We can
we'll ask him about that too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a former Marine, so he must be a real man.
Okay, so my final thought for the week, the PBS, network has been running this week Ken Burns' latest documentary, The American Revolution. Okay, and every night this week, a 2-hour program. The first 3 episodes have aired. The riveting, and compelling history about the founding of this nation, the sacrifice the colonists, what they had to go through, taking on the biggest and mightiest military in the world.
Did
at
you
the
say
time.
columnists
British.
or colonists?
Colonists.
All right, I thought you meant columnists.
Yeah. So.
Baffled for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a big American history buff, but there's a lot of stuff that Ken Burns has brought to the surface. But the suffering that they went through, okay, and it really is truly amazing. I think it's a must watch for kids, school age kids. The governor was appalled that we don't teach civics in our public schools anymore. She filed a bill, or at least told the legislature they should put some component that adds to the curriculum. This should be part of a public school curriculum, since most of the American Revolution started right here, took place right here in Boston, Massachusetts, Concord, and Lexington.
Right.
And we are the American Revolution right here. And I still got 5 more episodes to go, but you can catch up on it. It's appearing on PBS. You should watch it. It's great history.
And my revolution is to save the cent.
Save the penny. Let's do it.
Save the cent.
Yes. So until we see you again next week, and remember, mark on your calendar, December 10th, Brian Shortsleeve, a GOP candidate for governor of Massachusetts, will be coming in, and also hopefully, the other candidates will do so. Teddy Panos, our producer, has been in touch, and maybe even Maura Healey will come in at some point.
Maybe. Why not?
So until we see you again, Sam Elliott rides.